Today, we're seeing how South Korea does low-cost long-haul. T-Way is one of South Korea's largest low-cost carriers, and recently they've started expanding far beyond Asia with long-haul flights to places such as Sydney, Frankfurt, and in our case Vancouver. Unlike Korean Air or Asiana, T-Way operates with the classic low-cost structure. So, the chances are, we're only gonna get what we paid for. Not a whole lot. Or are we? The plan today is to test out economy on board the Airbus A330 on the 12-hour flight from Vancouver, where we left off last time with the regional airline Pacific Coastal, all the way over to the airline's home in Seoul. The simplicity of a low-cost carrier on a quick 2-hour flight is one thing, but on a 12-hour overnight trip across the Pacific Ocean is something completely different. That's where things can either go surprisingly well, or start to wear on us pretty quickly. So, how nice did T-Way actually make the long-haul economy experience? How comfortable are the seats gonna be for that amount of time? What's the food and service situation like on a budget airline trying to compete on one of the longest routes they operate? And by the end of this ultra long-haul flight, would we feel like the savings were actually worth it? Or would it just make more sense to spend the extra money flying on South Korea's 4 service carriers instead?
What's going on, guys? Casey Flower here. Let's go check into the flight and see how South Korea does low-cost long-haul.
This is the line to check in. Alright, well, this is gonna take a bit. Well, at least it's moving. 45 minutes later, I found myself in the front.
Are you checking in any bags?
I am not. This is just a personal item. Or a carry-on.
You just
I do. Does the carry-on have a weight limit or just the check bag?
It does have a weight limit at 7 kilograms, but you only have 1 message.
Okay, so I'm free with that?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. This way. After some more rounds of the waiting game in the TSA line and a hike to the gate, I saw the ride across the Paro to Asia. Hotel Lima 8502 will be the 16-year-old A330 over the Pacific tonight, delivered brand new to Aeroflot in November of 2009 as Vector Quebec Bravo Charlie uniform. After that, it was then Air Asia X in January of 2020 as Hotel Sierra X-Ray Tango Lima, followed by Air Cap in July of 2021, and then it went back to the Vector Quebec Bravo Charlie uniform registration, and then finally, in March of 2022, it made its way to T-Way. Alright friends, we are not in the boarding area, but we are at an empty boarding area that's across from our T-Way flight over to Seoul. Empty so I can do this and have it all to myself to record. But yeah, during check-in, I said I wanted to bring my backpack on as a carry-on or a personal item. So the policy for a carry-on for T-Way is to have it be 7 kilograms. My backpack is not 7 kilograms. I think it's around 14 when I weighed it a couple of videos ago when we flew on Harbor Air.
Just a teeny bit over baggage allowance. You're allowed 10 pounds or currently 14.
And their checked bag policy was 10 pounds or less without having to pay an extra fee. But I did not have to pay an extra fee because this was all I had with me. So I was bringing this on as a personal item, which is free regardless. So I got out of paying an extra fee for my backpack being too heavy because the personal item can be as heavy as it wants. Okay, maybe not as heavy as it wants, but yeah, since I have the one personal item as my backpack, I got that for free. But yeah, they are just now beginning boarding at the boarding area for the flight to Seoul, so I'll go ahead and talk to you guys when we get to the seat on board. I made it all the way to the back of the bus to the shining bright lights of seat 39H. We got a width of 18 inches. A pitch of 32 inches for legroom, which is 1 point on my seat to the same point on the seat in front of me, and apparently a recline of 113 inches. Alright, using the device holder we have built into the tray table, I am filming this, and welcome aboard the T-Way Airbus A330 over to Incheon. First impressions on our seat so far. It's interesting. By interesting, I mean there ain't much. The legroom is alright, pretty standard to what a four-service flag carrier would be in economy. You got 32 inches of pitch down there, 1 point on my seat to the same point on the seat in front of me. Width is also pretty good. But yeah, as far as the dimensions go, the seat is alright. You do have something down there under the seat in front of me that's limiting me from stretching out all the way to the right, so I kind of have to put my legs at an angle, which is kind of awkward. But yeah, the thickness and cushioning, it's not the most cushiony seat in the world, but it'll do for now. I feel okay. But apart from that, the only amenity we have is in-seat power. And it's not even a universal outlet. It's really only USB-A that we have in the seats. But luckily, I came prepared this time with a USB-A charger. Normally, on my low-cost long-haul flights, I don't got that, so I picked a good day to come prepared with my USB-A charger. But yeah, they are just now closing the main boarding door and getting everyone ready to go. So let's go ahead and tough this one out together and push back and get in the air. We are airborne out of Vancouver and on our way over to Incheon. I was getting a little bit worried about the NC power not coming on, as it was not on when we were at the gate, it wasn't on when we powered up, and it wasn't on right when we got in the air. But just 10 minutes after takeoff, they turned it on and started making a bunch of announcements. But yeah, it was actually kind of funny because that time lapse I do, that's right after liftoff. I stopped the recording at 10 minutes, and pretty much right as the timer on the recording hit the 10-minute mark, that's when the NC power dinged on and the crew started making a ton of announcements regarding the flight and flight details and all that. But yeah, the NC power is on and working now. My phone isn't charging very fast, but it's definitely working, and there's a blue light in there indicating that it is working. But yeah, for now, I'll take what I can get because we don't have much. So before the crew starts their drink, snack, meal, duty-free, whatever they start, let's go ahead and take a look at that in-flight menu with the meals, snacks, drinks, and duty-free. So this is it, volume 17. So this is what they got for March through April 2026. We are going to open it up here and get greeted with Pilot Pikachu there. He does Pilot Pikachu things with some more Pokemon and a model T-Way 737-800 in the Pokemon livery. Rather tempted there. But as far as the edibles go, we got noodles here. So chicken macaroni curry rice with a whole bunch of noodles on that page, with the chicken curry rice plus a noodle of your choice, with the drinky drinks over here. So Jack and Coke, Coke and Pringles, with some more noodles up there. We got whatever these are, some more chicken curry rice. We got even more noodles here, which makes a ton of sense. We got some more Korean snacks, looking all nice and tasty here, I would think, that would help. But yeah, here are all of the smaller snacks and the drinks. So some alcohol here, Jack Daniels there, with some wine there and a soda here. So Coke, Sprite, as well as some coffee and tea over there. Not much, pretty standard, gets the job done. With some water here that isn't even free, water for $2. But yeah, nothing yet is free. I'm seeing everything so far has been buy on board. Nothing free, including a blanket. So far, the only thing that we're going to be doing to pass time is trying to sleep. And that blanket is something that we can buy for $18 to maybe help us sleep. So we have a microfiber blanket to help us sleep, along with a sleeping kit here. So we can buy a neck pillow with slippers, little T-Way bag thing with an eye mask and earplugs for $15 to aid us to sleep, and for $5 in case you did not come prepared and have a USB-A charger. You can get an adapter for that with other plugs that can go into any device, but apparently that's only available on the A330 or 777. You can get a toothbrush if you want to brush your teeth on the long haul flight, along with some more snacks over here for $6. And last but certainly not least, the meals that we are probably going to be getting. So again, here's what we got for $12 for both of those, which are beef bulgogi with steamed rice, or a
bibimbap.
Bibimbap. I definitely did not pronounce that correctly.
Bibimbap.
But we got that with rice. But yeah, we can also pre-order a meal through this. But yeah, there we go. That's our aircraft, and that is the menu. But for now, just playing the waiting game until they actually come through and we get fed. The seat so far and how I feel, Yeah, I mean, it looks thin and not very cushioned, but for now, I feel fine. But that's for now, 40 minutes into the flight, so only time will tell if I'm still going to be feeling this great in this relatively bare-bones seat in 11 hours when we land in Seoul. But yeah, the legroom is alright. That piece there that is kind of obstructing my legroom underneath the seat in front of me isn't that big of an issue. But yeah, I'm able to stretch out and throw clowns pretty good. But really the only thing about the seats is the cushioning, and as I mentioned, the lack of cushioning isn't really a problem yet. But yeah, another thing is that there are no vents up there, so if it gets hot, then you're kind of out of luck. But yeah, I was feeling a little bit warm earlier, but now it's not too bad. Temperature's alright. But yeah, I'll let you know if my opinion on the seat thickness and cushioning changes. But yeah, when I see you guys next, we will hopefully be getting fed because I am starting to eat today. And a whopping hour and 10 minutes after takeoff, we finally got our in-flight meal. The options were either going to be 2 meats mixed with rice, so I went ahead and went with the chicken mixed with rice. So exhibit A, we got the chicken and rice itself, looking rather interesting, with some chicken, rice, and veggies in the middle there. Exhibit B, not even a full cup of water. Exhibit C, I'm kidding, there's no Exhibit C. But yeah, that's our meal. It's free, actually. So despite what it had in the in-flight menu, the meal I got is completely complimentary along with the water. So let's go ahead and taste it to see if it tastes complimentary. Now, when my parents watch my flight reviews, they always tell me that I'm not enough of a food critic when it comes to trying the food, and that I'm too friendly. When this time, I'm going to tell you guys completely the truth and say that I genuinely like it. I'm no food critic, I'm no food expert, but I don't know, it tastes good, it's alright, seems legit, I like the taste, it's fulfilling. The chicken tastes pretty good, but yeah, I like it, I approve. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, honestly, not bad for being free. I'll definitely take it. They also came through with a water run with more water, so I just held out the cup I had that they gave me with the meal, and they gave me more water, so now I have a nice full cup of water to drink with my meal. an hour and a half after that dinner service, the crew has shut the lights and is having everyone shut the window shades to get some sleep. And surprisingly, I have actually been super relaxed. I haven't spoken with you guys in a good hour and a half after finishing that in-flight meal, and I've actually been pretty well relaxed and gotten some sort of sleep. The seat being in the recline position definitely helped. The firmness of the seat can definitely be felt down there, but honestly that's the only thing. You can feel it, but it's not like a huge issue, so I've been super relaxed for the past hour or two since I finished dinner. But yeah, I guess that's a good thing. That's the only way to pass time on this flight, since there's no Wi-Fi or entertainment browser or seatback IFE screen or anything like that. So the only way to pass time is to be relaxed and get some rest. But yeah, after dinner there was also a duty-free service, I'm pretty sure, and I actually slept through that, so I'm not entirely sure what that was. Not that I was going to get anything from it, but a little bit after that dinner service ended, they did run a card through for duty-free. But yeah, right now in the Alaska area, southern Alaska, I want to say, that area, and about 3 hours in and about 7 to 8 hours remaining. Update: the sun is pretty much down out there and it is almost dark, and it has been 5 hours since I have spoken to you guys last, and I've just been spending that time by resting, or trying to rest, with several waves of sleep. But yeah, the seat legroom down there and the recline has definitely been helping with resting. So much so that I actually ended up sleeping through the duty-free cart service that they were doing after the main mirror service a couple hours after takeoff. But yeah, I just flipped through the duty-free magazine that they had in the seat back pocket for the duty-free service, and to really not much surprise, it was pretty much all fragrances and cosmetics, with 1 or 2 pages on tech, but yeah, pretty much all fragrances and cosmetics. Apart from the recline and legroom for seat comfort, the firmness and cushioning situation is alright. Could be a little better, but it's not too bad. I just have to distribute my weight on the seat to kind of mitigate for that, from either going from putting more weight to the back part of the seat and taking it off the bottom part, and kind of switching off my position on the bottom part to kind of distribute my weight evenly. But yeah, the fact that I even have to do that in the first place doesn't make the cushioning and firmness situation ideal. But yeah, I'm getting through it. Right now, it doesn't feel too bad. I can feel it down there, but it doesn't really hurt. It doesn't feel too bad. But yeah, they are actually coming through with a second meal service. They just turned the cabin lights on to come through with a second meal service. So here in a second, I will be back with that and show you what we get for the second meal service. So we either have the choice of getting a beef stew or eggs and potatoes. I opted for the eggs and potatoes here. So exhibit A, we got the main entree itself. So we got the eggs and bacon there in the middle. On the far right, we got the potatoes and some more vegetables there on the far left. And exhibit B, some water. A half cup of water there. On the first meal service, after that, they came through with a lot more water runs to give us refills to keep us hydrated. So I would think they'll do the same on this one. So yeah, this meal was also free and complimentary along with the first one. So again, let's see if it tastes complimentary. Alright, just by trying a fork bite of the eggs and potato, I don't really hate it. It's warm, it's nice, but it doesn't really have much taste to it. But hey, it doesn't taste bad. But yeah, I'm not gonna say it tastes bad, but yeah, it's alright. It's nice, it's warm, feels good. I approve. But yeah, we are just a couple hours away from landing, so I will talk to you guys once we hit our top of descent and start down. How do I know how far away we are from landing without a flight map? Well, the truth is, I don't, and the lack of a flight map or current ETA is driving me absolutely nuts. I'm just working off the scheduled arrival time as we left pretty much on schedule, and how far away the current time is in Seoul to our scheduled arrival time. But if anything, in complete transparency, my stomach is starting to hurt a little bit. And I haven't eaten anything since last night, so my stomach hurting is definitely something in the airline's food, which is making the meal I have now a little bit difficult to finish. I don't think I'm going to finish it at all. I mean, actually, when I stopped eating, I haven't eaten anything for like 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes, and the stomach pain's starting to go away. So, if anything, the taste itself in this meal might be fine, but it's giving me stomach problems, so yay that. But yeah, that is what it is. Just stop eating and you'll be good. I don't know. But yeah, we're not that far away from landing, so if anything, I can get something on the ground if it's really, really that bad. I didn't get anything from the first meal in terms of stomach or body problems. That just tasted okay. It didn't give me any like internal issues. But yeah, the cabin crew also came through with a drink cart and snack cart of more drinks than water and more snacks than the meal, but they completely rode by my route, which was a little interesting. They started further back in the cabin and then just like rode by to the section of the cabin in front of us, which was a little funny. But yeah, I don't know what that was all about. But yeah, we are just under 2 hours away from landing, so I will see you guys once we get to top of descent and start descending. So the food on here ended up going a little bit further than just minor stomach pains. About a day and a half after eating both the meals on here, I got really sick from food poisoning. I'll spare you the details, but I was actually going through the thick of it as I was flying and filming the video after this one back in Canada. During the entire filming of this video, there's just been some really bad stomach bug. Everything else I've eaten were things I was familiar with, so it kinda made sense that the meal on here was the problem. I also brought it up briefly at the end of that video too. When I finished filming it, I was actually too sick to travel home that night, so I had to grab a room in Vancouver and fly out the following day. So yeah, if you come and take a flight with T-Way, maybe don't bother with the food on here. And all of that was on top of the 2 weeks it took me to fully recover. And just about an hour later, we have began our descent down into Incheon. To prepare for landing, the crew has asked us not to charge our devices using the NC power, so that may or may not be coming off momentarily. But yeah, in preparation for landing on the rest of the way in, I'm going to use the rest of the flight time to rate and review the flight using my channel. I was in the middle of filming this segment before when one of the cabin crew came back and asked me for my channel name because she saw me filming. So yeah, shout out to you if you're watching this. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of the flight time on the way in to rate the airline using my channel original rating scale. Very creatively named the Raleigh rating system because my first name is Raleigh. If you're new here, I use it to rate all the airlines I take at the end of every one of my airline reviews with 6 different categories to see how well the airline did at each of the 6. But if you're not new here, good job. Congratulations, you made it this far. How do you think T-Way did today? Well, let's go to Send It to Seoul and find out. The service was a 7 out of 10, as both mirror services were complimentary with the water. It would just be an extra charge to get any additional snacks of any size or drinks such as coffee, tea, or soda. The flight crew also kept us hydrated by doing multiple water runs after the drink service. It was really strange and a little bit annoying how they didn't actually stop at my row with the cart of onboard drinks and snacks. I wasn't gonna get anything anyway, but it would have been nice to just get offered the option to get something. As far as the flight crew themselves go, they honestly weren't anything too notable. They weren't mean and honestly pretty neutral. When I filmed the cart, I did get told off for filming twice by the same crew member, but after I showed her that I wasn't filming her, she didn't care. This was the same one that actually asked me for my channel, and after she caught on what I was doing, she was very apologetic. After the second round of services, the crew were really absent. They were so absent, in fact, that they asked me if I was ready for them to take my meal after I didn't want to eat anymore. I said yes, and that I was done and ready for them to take it, but they didn't actually come back and take it until descent. The cleanliness was a 9 out of 10, as the overall cabin and atmosphere looked nice and presentable. There wasn't anything too noticeable, and same goes for the seats. If anything, the only things that really caught my attention were just various spots and stains on the tray table and somewhat the seat. The Wi-Fi was a 0 out of 10, as none was available. The food was a 3 out of 10, as the food itself tasted okay. It was free and pretty fulfilling, but my stomach was not feeling the same way. At first, the stomach pains were relatively minor, and at the same time, it only felt like an inconvenience, and that's what happened halfway through the second meal, which was that breakfast service. But fast forward a day and a half, I'm really sick with food poisoning from what I want to say was the food off of this flight. The first meal was fine. It tasted and felt great after not eating all day. There were also a pretty good selection of onboard snacks in all sizes and drinks apart from water. I'm not sure how you would actually get them in practicality if the cart with them is just gonna roll completely past a row if it completely skips you. Best you can do is just flag them down and ask about what you want, but that's not ideal. The entertainment was a 1 out of 10, as it was the absolute bare minimum, and the only thing the airline actually provides to keep us occupied is in-seat power. It was only the USB-A plug, which isn't even guaranteed to work. It came on 10 minutes after takeoff and went off 10 minutes before landing, and it also has the possibility of not working as a whole, so be prepared for that. It also isn't very accessible, as there's no universal power outlets, and if your power cord's Type-C, then you're out of luck. Hopefully you can get that USB-A adapter they were showing in that menu magazine somehow if you didn't come prepared. There's no seatback monitor, so bring your own device. There's also no internet or local entertainment browser, so download content. The seat was a 5 out of 10, as it didn't have any of the entertainment amenities mentioned, such as a better variety of plugins for power or no entertainment monitor. It still did technically have in-seat power, so I'll give it that. The only way to pass time was to sleep, so the seat comfort was pretty much everything. The legroom was alright for little 5'10" me, but just limiting as the far left under my seat was obstructed, so I had to stretch my legs at a slight angle. The bottom of the seat in front of me was also low to the ground, which also limited stretching as I couldn't vertically move my legs. I hate to say this, but if we're tall, good luck. The recline was amazing, and that combined with the legroom gave me sufficient rest to pass time. As mentioned, the firmness was definitely there, but it wasn't a huge issue after alternating seating positions to get some sort of rest. So the overall rating for the airline is going to be a 4.1 out of 10. Thank you. Alright, finally cleared customs over an hour later. Alright, and after 2 hours of clearing immigration and trying to get a taxi to the hotel, I finally made it to the crash pad at Incheon. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my review on the T-Way A330 as much as I did on the flight, because believe it or not, I kinda did. I'm here, I lived, I survived, that's all that matters, it's all good. That flight is rather infamous for being what it is, such a long flight on such a bare-bone aircraft. But yeah, my final thoughts on it, the food was okay. The taste themselves of the food was pretty good. Both the meals were fulfilling. I haven't eaten anything that day at all because I've just been filming all day and not having any time to eat. So the food was fulfilling and tasted pretty good. Just not ideal that I got food poisoning, not even food poisoning, that I had minor stomach issues on that second meal. But it's all good now. I'm all good. That's all that matters. I don't love that the crew just completely rolled past my row with that one cart service that was the snacks and drinks. They just completely rolled past my row. They started like in the far back cabin and then just rolled past my row to the next section and didn't even bother stopping for anyone. But yeah, and didn't ask, which I don't love. As far as that seat goes, yeah, try to get as little rest as you can the night before and that day before you fly on the T-Way A330, because resting is going to be the only thing that you're going to be able to do to pass time. And try to get a USB-A cord too to charge your device. But yeah, I think if the price is right, I would say definitely go for it. But if you can see that Korean or Asiana is at the same price or even lower, definitely go with the flag carriers, Korean or Asiana. The 4 service carriers like them. But yeah, if the price is right and it's like significantly lower, I said yeah, go for it. Why not? Go with T-Way. But anyway, yeah, I gotta be back at the airport in the morning for the next flight out of here. which I'm not filming because it's on United, but I'm going back to the States and then back to Canada right after. And then filming some more content in Canada. So yeah, I look forward to bringing you guys on that adventure on those airlines. Bye for now.